Hello indie game fans, after a very busy month in June, I thought things would have started to pick up in July, but that does not appear to be the case. But the great thing about indie games is that there's always something interesting coming up, so see what you can look forward to next month. Let's begin with Chaos Galaxy 2, a pixel art turn-based strategy title that is the sequel to a game from 2020, looking fairly similar with great pixel art. You choose a faction and have admirals under your control, having to manage them in order to fulfill your goals. It is set in a time of chaos due to the collapse of the long-ruling Galactic Empire, where every faction is jockeying for position, from pirates, merchants, mercenaries and more, not to mention an alien threat. On top of excellent turn-based strategy combat similar to games like Super Robot Wars, there is a grand strategy and base building layer as you build facilities on your planets, take part in diplomacy, research technology and set global policies, made all the more impressive since it is from a solo developer, definitely deserving a mention. A farming sim that I've been looking forward to is Dinkum, primarily because of the Australian setting, where it is set in the outback and has eucalyptus forests, scorching deserts and the cool billabongs that are typical of Australia, not to mention kangaroos, crocodiles and wombats as the animal representations. As such, it is quite different from the Japanese-inspired setting of Harvest Moon or the more western settings of something like Stardew Valley, where it's always nice to get some fresh ideas in the space. For some reason, people seem to adore Stray, which I think is because you play as a cat in a cyberpunk city, but I do want to learn more about this game. Yes, of course, it is very cute, but it does appear to be an exploration title that has you traversing through the world attempting to get home. The city is gorgeously rendered, however, so I do hope that the gameplay portion is compelling enough. Speaking of cyberpunk, if you're looking for more action, Neon Blight might be your cup of tea, a pixel art action roguelite that looks pretty good. It has you managing a gun store, selling weapons to the resistance as they fight against the mega corporations, where you do have to venture out into the world presumably to get the weapons for sale, being similar in structure to a Moonlighter in that sense. I don't know how the roguelite structure will fit into the narrative, so I do hope there is an explanation, but if you love roguelites and shop management games, this is one to watch. Endling Extinction is Forever has been on my watch list for the longest of time, since this is a beautiful adventure platformer where you play as the last mother fox on Earth, set in some sort of post-apocalypse after an environmental disaster. You do have to take care of your cubs as best you can, feeding, protecting, teaching and saving them from danger. This looks like it has the potential to be heart-wrenching but hopeful at the same time, looking to be an emotional story worth a play. An awesome looking exploration title is Time on Frog Island, one where you're shipwrecked on an island of frogs and have to gather various items for them in order to get the parts to repair your ship. It is not a life or farming sim title like Stardew Valley, but rather has more of an adventure game or puzzle element, but the action and overall vibe of this is simply whimsical and pleasant.
We got a tough case that needs your help.
I advise you not to get involved in this! Or you'll die a very tragic death!
I talked about Loopmancer not too long ago, so here's a quick reminder of it, where it's a 2.5D roguelite platformer set in a Chinese cyberpunk city. You play as a detective investigating the disappearance of a reporter, finding himself embroiled in quite a bit of action and danger, where the kicker is that upon death, you find yourself awake in your own bed that very same morning, with the time loop element explaining the roguelite structure. The action looks great with impressive backgrounds and world building, so I do hope that the structure and narrative of this game makes sense.
Let's keep playing.
Let's kick off the top 3 with Bear and Breakfast, another long anticipated title that looks fantastic, where you play as a bear, manning a bed and breakfast while exploring the woods. There are plenty of management systems to mess around with, including furnishing the rooms, cooking food and keeping your guests happy, with it having an impressive art style as well. I do wonder what lurks deep in the woods and how that feeds into the day-to-day gameplay loop, where we will get to find out next month. An awesome looking game that I'm sure many of you have not come across is Immortal Tactics War of the Eternals, a title that has one too many generic words in the name, but is an awesome looking pixel art roguelike tactics title of interest. You're creating an army of leaders and characters as you explore the world node by node, but the developer says that it is not a simple move and attack, unit by unit style of strategy game, but where entire move phases are introduced which changes up the strategy required, making this of interest as well. What is old is new again with Komajo Remilia Scarlet Symphony, another Toho Metroidvania title which is technically from 2009, being remastered for the modern age and adding official English language support, where I don't think that many people have played the original, so it counts in my book. From the visuals of this title, it is very much like Symphony of the Night, but true to its Toho roots, does have bullet hell elements, especially with the bosses. Our heroine can fly as well, which changes up the combat and exploration, so even if you don't know anything about the Touhou series, should be worth a look, taking the number 1 spot. For more Metroidvania games, watch these videos and I will see you after the jump.